And now bringing you that hard, hitting fight analysis, submitting you into paralysis. Josh Thompson head kicking leg to dome, and Big John McCarthy saying let's get it on.
All right, well, welcome to the Weighing In Podcast. We just had the UFC from Paris with Nasruddin Imavov taking on Borralho. What a fight. They both went after it the best they could. All kinds of actions throughout the card. There's all kinds of things for us to talk about, and there is a ton of other stuff that is happening in our world of MMA. So many things, some good, some bad. Who the hell knows what's going on? We're going to find out. But my man is back from Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, driving through Montana and Wyoming and all these different places. You went to Moab, didn't you? You went to Utah.
Yep.
Utah's gorgeous.
We went through the whole thing, man. We stopped in Yellowstone first as we came back down. So I drove up to Idaho last week. My grandmother passed, so we spent some time with family and we did some family stuff, during that weekend. Had family that I hadn't seen in years. They all flew up and we were
Sometimes that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can figure out, is it good that you finally got to see him, or is it good that it's been years?
I think most people can say that their families can be complicated.
Oh shit! Please.
And so it's but it was good to see everyone.
That's a nice word.
It's good. It was good to see everyone, but it does get a little complicated, especially after someone passes, and there's just a lot of like talk of like, when was the last time you visited? You never came, and it was just a lot of that, and so it's hard. My grandmother lived a good life, man. 97 years old, so she lived a fantastic life, and
she did good.
Yeah, she did good. So
she won.
Yeah, one of the I'm gonna just tell this quick story, man. But she never really drank until I was like probably I'd say 7.
Does that mean that you drove her to drink?
No.
Oh, okay,
I was like around 7 or 8 years old, and we were I think it was at a Thanksgiving. I can't remember. Maybe it was Easter. But she had never drank, not that I had ever seen, and she would sip on. I guess apparently she would occasionally sip on some white wine or whatever when she was out with my grandfather, but. We were all having Christmas or whatever it was. And I remember this was like right around the time that wine coolers came out. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Like the wine coolers. This was back like when I was, 8 or 9 years old, something like that. But I just remember that grandma started acting a little weird. And I was like, I didn't know really what wine coolers were. So, yeah, it was funny. And then finally, my uncles had started giving her a hard time. Looks like someone's had a little too much to drink and someone's getting a little loopy and this and that. It was just funny to see my grandmother be kind of like a little, because she never drank. She, never was around alcohol, and it was just funny to see my grandmother be in that position. But it was one of those memories that I remember all of us kind of laughing and snickering about. It's like, it just made me laugh. And every time I think about it, it's because when you don't see someone drink and they finally drink a little bit for the first time and they get a little giggly and they get a little like, just fun to be, like
personality starts to shine and sparkle a little bit. Yeah.
And so it was one of those memories, but yeah, it was good to see the family. We did a bunch of things. So, one of my cousins rented a ski boat. We took the kids out on, taught them how to wake surf, and do that. So got Kellen and Naya both up on some wake surfing boards.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did that for a little bit. And then, then we did some rock jumping, there in town. They've got some rocks that you can jump off of into the lake. So the kids got to do some rock jumping, all ages. So we have a lot of grandkids that were all there, which was nice. Finally get all the grandkids together, get them to spend some time together. Did some hikes as a family. It was cool, man. Idaho is a great place to raise a family. It's a great place. The education system there is really good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
People are real nice. Housing market's out of fucking control, especially in that area because it's so beautiful there. But a lot of people left other states and moved there during COVID, and so they just haven't gone back, and they plan on staying there. So, it's been it was good to go back and visit. Got to see some family and friends and stuff, but it was definitely a good experience. So the drive back was great. Kids got to see a lot.
That's cool.
We took them out of school for the whole week because they already had Monday, Tuesday off for Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
And so we just said, you know what, they'll just miss Wednesday, Thursday, got back on Friday. So it was worth it.
Dude, hold on. Everything that you're doing, it's not only, it's educational, it's memories, it's all good. I always look and I would do things differently as far as how many times I took my kids out of schools to go do things.
Yeah. if I could go back during COVID and just take my kid out of school and just drive across the country, I wish I would have done it.
That would not have been the time to do it. Not much was open.
No, but I'm saying like the state parks and national parks and stuff, they were all open.
Were they?
Yeah, they were all open. They were closed. Really? They were closed for like I think the first month.
I want to say the first. Yeah, okay.
But then what they did is had regulations on how many people could be in this and that. But you could still. I mean,
hell, they were arresting people on the beach for fishing. Come on,
California. Calm down.
Fucking ridiculous.
That was California.
Yeah, that's where you were living.
But overall, though, man, like it was a great experience getting the kids out. You know, watching them run up the trails and and just enjoy all these things. I got a great photo of my wife and the two kids through one of the arches, in Arizona, right when the sunset was setting behind them. So all you see is their silhouettes. It was awesome, man. Just moments that you probably remember. Those are photos you can put up in your house, for the rest of your life, and just realize you spent some time. You spent quality time with your kids, having fun, talking about. The greatest part, like for me, sometimes like we never eat fast food. And so when we're on the road, my daughter's like McDonald's. So
I don't think I'm being honest at this point in my life, I haven't had McDonald's in God knows.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how long, but I will not take my grandkids to McDonald's.
Oh, I get it. I can't
do it.
But I will,
especially after watching McDonald's burgers sit there for years. It doesn't even grow moldy. It's like, no, I'm not feeding that. I'm not feeding that fucking fake thing to my grandkids.
The fries are the same way. But what I will give them is I will give them the chicken nuggets.
Okay.
And so, because it's all white meat, and
I'll go to Zaxby's.
Yeah, it's whatever. But it's like, I will give them chicken nuggets. We'll buy a 20-piece of chicken nuggets, and I'll be like, hey, because they'll tear that shit up. I've done 40 pieces of those kids.
But are they really nuggets? And what is a nugget? What's a nugget made of?
Shredded up chicken.
What part?
What part is the nugget? It's the shredded part. It's the shredded part.
It's the shredded part.
But it's been it was fun, man. We had a good time. So, all right. Well, hey, look, we've talked about my personal life long enough. I'm sure most of you guys listening are going to be like, man, come on, guys, get on to the fight talk. Let's get on to the main event. You got Nasruddin Imavov versus Kai Borralho. John, do you think that the fighting nerds were exposed a little bit tonight? That's one question. Okay. Two is Kai Borralho what we thought he was?
Yes, he's a good fighter, and I think he proved that tonight. Like, he took some big shots.
Yeah, he did,
and he hung in there throughout it. But when you talk about and he talked about his fight IQ and these different things that are going on, and I think he does have a good fight IQ, but placement and positioning in fighting is a lot of how you're either successful or you're not. And if you take just take a look at the body posture of Nasruddin Imavov during that fight, and take a look at the body posture of Kai Borralho.
It's funny you say that, because I was going to get into that too, but no, please carry on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. In my mind, that posture said a lot.
It said a lot. It says everything, Josh, and you know that. Mm-hmm. And when I'm leaning back all the time, and I'm in this position where I'm leaning back, and then I try to come forward, I'm telegraphing when I'm coming. I'm doing all these things that are just giving my opponent a cue on when is my attack coming. And while my opponent, he's not in that same position. He's got weight on the front leg. He's forward facing. He is in a posture and position to where his strikes are coming fast. He's got fast hands anyways. I think the kick at the very beginning that started it off, when it hit Borralho to the body, it almost made him in. From that point I saw him, he's stepping backwards, and he is a forward facing, forward marching fighter. That's when he's doing well. Mm-hmm. And he's not that guy that is the greatest counter striker. You can counter strike. I don't care what they said on the coach said on the fucking thing, but you can't counter strike when you're leaning back. It just doesn't work. You can, John.
Hold on. You got to be the faster fighter.
Exactly. You can take and time someone and make that movement back and have it and that you're coming forward as it's coming back, and it's going to work for you. But when you're not the faster guy, it's not easy to do that way. And that's exactly what I was getting into. He wasn't the faster guy. Imavov actually had the faster hands. He was the faster fighter overall. I thought, there was moments when I thought Borralho looked good. I think I gave him the third round. That was the one round that I gave him. But other than that, it was, I had it 49-46, and I thought Nasruddin Imavov has really evolved as a fighter also. The way that he relaxes in the fight, he didn't, if you can remember when he first was in the UFC, he pushed things and then he got tired, and he would overextend at times. He doesn't do it. All the mistakes that you can look and say, well, here's where someone can take advantage of. Here. He sealed a lot of those problems up, and he's a dangerous fighter. I truly believe he's one of the more difficult fights that Chimaev would have, based upon his ability to wrestle and his ability to strike the way he does. And now that he's comfortable, he's the real deal. He belongs where he's at.
So Kai Borralho is what we thought he was. He's good, just couldn't figure out the riddle of Imavov tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a good fighter. You can't take anything away from him. This is his ninth fight. He's 8-1 now in the UFC. He's a hell of a fighter. It's that, everyone meets that one person that just what they do causes them problems, and there's answers for it. But sometimes you can't get those answers during the fight. And I think that was, I thought Borralho, he showed me heart. He showed me, he was not giving up at any point. And I can, I'll point out, the fight before it, we're going to talk about, you could see Ruffy gave up. He gave up. You could see it. And that's because it was like nothing was working for him. He was having problems, and it's like he fell apart. Borralho never fell apart. He was in it to the end. Not that he was winning, but he was in it, and he was doing some good work at times, just not enough to win the fight.
The posture was a huge deal to me because that, like I said, if you're the faster fighter, you can get away with leaning back. Ilia Topuria gets away with it sometimes leaning back. He's the longer fighter on top of being sometimes the faster fighter. Yeah. So that works in those scenarios. That was bothering me. Like, if you're not the faster guy, if you're not the better striker, like, you can't lean back like that. You've got to be in the face and in the grill. Now, that being said, if you listen between rounds, I did hear a comment from Kai Borralho's corner. It's a clean fight. We can't have a clean fight.
That's true.
If you are not the better striker and you're not the faster fighter, you can't have a clean fight. No, you need to make it a dirty, grimy fight. And that's what I saw. I saw every time he was having success is when he got into those exchanges. Now, he did get clipped sometimes.
Sure.
But you've got to take those chances. A loss is a loss. An L next to your name is still an L. It doesn't matter how you did it. It doesn't matter if you got knocked out. It doesn't matter if you got submitted. It doesn't matter if you lose by decision. Whatever. It's still an L next to your name. He had moments, just he didn't create enough moments. He didn't take the chances that he needed. Do I think he is what we think that most people thought he was? I absolutely think he is. I'm not going to disrespect him because he lost to the number one guy, the number one contender. I'm not going to disrespect him like that. The guy is extremely talented. He's got to make a couple changes here and there, just tweaks, nothing major.
Yeah, that's exactly
nothing
it.
Major.
Little tweaks make big differences throughout a 25-minute fight.
Absolutely. He kept shooting doubles. No. Let's go ahead and shoot and let's just drop down and try and get into a high crotch position and snatch a single leg. Let's do something like that. Like, let's just go into the single and see if we can lift and scoop. Like, anything along those lines. Let's see if we can get Imavov to get his back to the fence and then drop down on a double, then switch to a single, then go back to a double. None of those things were ever made. The foot sweep, you can only try so many times. Yeah. If you went foot sweep and you didn't get it, then you got to go right to inside trip. You've got to learn to chain things together, and I didn't see that tonight from him. He looked a little lost, but I want to give credit to Imavov. It has to do with the level of which he's grown since he first came into the UFC. He looked amazing tonight. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Everything was clean, crisp. Like you said, John, the cardio was on point. He was relaxed. I go back to a couple, and I use myself as an example because I don't like to use other people because they're going to be like, oh, no, it wasn't like that. I use myself because the way that I moved around so much in my first fight with Gilbert, it worked for me. The second fight, I moved around like that, and Gilbert fought the way that Imavov fought tonight. He stopped moving around so much and just became a stationary target, but he also came out a little bit and not a lot of moving around. I had hard times with that. He was a very composed fighter, very relaxed. Even when there was a moment where he hit me in the nuts, he walked over to his corner and sat down on one knee and took some deep breaths. He slowed his heart rate down. He stayed composed the whole time. I saw that from Imavov tonight. Just everything was like, I'm good. Go back. That says so much about a fighter and how dialed in they are and to what their goal is. Their goal is to win the fight no matter what. Don't let anything outside distract you. And at no point was Imavov ever distracted. He understood what the goal was. The goal was to win the fight. The goal was, and I know everyone says, oh, well, my goal was to win the fight. No, you're right. But there's other distractions. You're allowing the crowd to get involved. You're allowing, oh, he hit me. Now I'm talking back to him. You're allowing the ref sometimes. John, how many times have you had a fighter go, oh, yeah, like he's hitting me. Hey, what's going on? They're talking to you more than they're worried about their opponent.
Which tells you that's exactly what Ruffy was doing against Saint-Denis. And you go, dude, you're not there.
You're not as focused.
Too many times.
You're not as focused as the guys like Saint-Denis, not as focused as the guys like Imavov. You can just see it when nothing distracts them and they're just laser focused in on what's going on inside the fight.
They truly don't give a shit about anything else.
They don't care.
That's it.
And I saw that tonight by Imavov. He looked great. Now, do I think it's going to be enough to warrant a title shot? I don't know. It really comes down to the RDR and the Fluffy Hernandez fight. It really is going to come down to that. But that fight is going to be a fucking slobber knocker.
I think so.
This fight was a great fight. It was a very technically sound fight. Sure. I thought it was dominated by Imavov, but was it going to be enough to get him a title shot? I think he is. I think Imavov probably out of the three other fighters, Fluffy and RDR and Kai Borralho, I think Imavov probably has the best chance of beating Chimaev. I mean, it's going to be close between him and the winner of this RDR. RDR to me, we can get into this, the whole separate conversation. Let me just wrap up on this. Great performance by Imavov, very focused, very dialed in. Kai Borralho is exactly who we thought he was. Okay, he just needs to make a couple little tweaks here and there. Make and work on things.
Go regroup
things together. Yeah, that's all. Look, he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's still got plenty of time to make another run, maybe even 3, 2 or 3 more runs. So he's got time. I think this was a good fight. It was a good main event. They had some good exchanges, and I expected the first round was a little fill out process. There's a lot at stake, and when there's a lot of words being exchanged, between countries and teams,
that's building of
that's building of fights. But I'm saying it does get to you in that first round. That's why we saw a very lackluster first round. But overall, I thought the fight was a very good fight. The right person won. Kai Borralho just needs to make a couple tweaks, and we'll see him back, and he'll be making another run. He'll be making I'm looking forward to seeing Kai Borralho and what changes he'll make, because he couldn't get the takedowns where everyone thought he'd possibly be able to. I literally did a show with Angelo. And he's like, oh, well, Imavov lost a takedown to Brendan Allen. I'm like, Kai Borralho doesn't have the wrestling of Brendan Allen.
Nope.
Brendan Allen can fucking wrestle. He can grapple. He can stand. His stand-up's gotten better. They're just different fighters. And you can't compare that. You can't compare those two things. Oh, he lost takedowns to Brendan Allen. I don't give a shit. That's not what's going to happen. And sure enough, it's funny. I've got my screenshot that I saved to rub it in Angelo's face, about that. But I think overall this was a very contested fight. It was a very good fight. Imavov fought a very great performance. So looking to see what happens between the RDR and the Fluffy fight, because that'll obviously be the deciding factor for Dana White on who gets the title shot.
I agree. I think Imavov obviously looks at it like, I deserve the title shot. It should be mine. And I understand why. And look, that was a good enough performance where, but if I was Dana, I would sit there and I wouldn't say a word. I would just let it go.
I mean, John, Imavov has been the number one contender for over almost a year now.
Yeah.
It's been that long. And so he in reality does deserve it.
Oh, he deserves it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, I don't think you're going to hear that, tomorrow that he's going to be matched up with Cosmo.
I wonder what it is. Why do they not? I don't want to say they don't like him, but there's not a push for that.
I think it's based upon, earlier in his career, there was a lot of decisions, a lot of, he was obviously we all thought he's good, but there was some hangups with things, and he he lost some fights. He lost to Sean Strickland. You look and you go, should he have? Should the guy that we thought he was, should he beat Sean Strickland? Well, Sean's tough in the stand up, and if you're not going to get the fight to the ground, then you're going to have problems. But he lost to Phil Hawes. See, and those are the setbacks, like that one right there. There's no way in the world the UFC is looking and saying they believe Phil Hawes is a better fighter in MMA than Nasruddin Imavov. Yeah. But when you lose to him, well, that's a big setback.
Yeah,
it's a big setback. So I think those are the things that have kind of held him back a little bit.
Completely different fighter though than when he fought Phil Hawes.
Oh, absolutely,
completely different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I get what you're saying though. You've got Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy.
Yeah, this was one that I really, from the very get-go, I thought this was going to be a very competitive fight, and it wasn't.
So did I.
I really thought that this would be, obviously I thought Benoit Saint-Denis would be attempting to get the fight to the ground. He's good there. He's very base oriented, and when I talk about base oriented for people, what I'm talking about is you have guys that are super athletic and have a lot of movement in the ground and try a lot of things and everything. And then there's those guys, when I say they're base oriented in the fact that they're controlling. And they feel like they're 155 pound fighter, but he feels like he's a 700 pound fighter when he's in those controlling positions, and he wears people out with that control. Even though he's doing some things, it's not that, explosive movement into a submission or anything like that. Saint-Denis got that. You can see it. I'm not saying he's not athletic, but he's a base control type of fighter on the ground, which takes a lot of athleticism away from people that are good with their speed and stuff. And Ruffy's good with his speed, but I really thought that just off the very beginning, the way that Ruffy was afraid of the takedown and the way he started off, Josh, you cannot start off trying to hit home runs, from the beginning of a fight. You got to be touching people and getting them to give a little bit of respect to what you do and all those things. And Ruffy was never in the fight in that position. Saint-Denis took him down, and once he took him down, Ruffy got back up, but you could see he was worried about being put back on the ground. And it just, everything just was that, it was like the tide kept rolling in over him, and he was unable to stop, and finally the tide was too much and it drowned him. And when I say I was watching, the fight, and I go, he just broke right there. You could see it. Yeah. He broke. And, soon after that, there was the tap out due to the rear naked choke, or some people want to say face crank. But Saint-Denis looked great. That was probably Mauricio Ruffy's worst performance.
I would agree. Did I hear this correctly? Because I had the kids running in and out of the room while I was watching fights. You know how that is. It's very difficult. Like your whole life you're trying to watch fights.
Story of my life.
Kids running out, grandkids running out.
That's it.
Did I hear this correctly that Mauricio Ruffy was trying to have a kid, and him and his wife were having a hard time having kids? Things weren't going right. They were talking about this. I think this on the broadcast.
They did.
And then he was thinking about just he didn't want to go on living.
Yeah.
John, that little clip is what I heard, and I wanted to make sure I clarified before I went out there and said this. That's a man that's battling something more than
deeper than anything to do with
anything ever.
Yep.
And when it wasn't going his way, he just had that feeling of this ain't it.
Yep.
And I don't know. I saw like when you saw the pressure across the shoulder when he was kind of pinched between the fence, and Saint-Denis. The look on his face was like, I can't fight this anymore. I don't know what to do. And just lost and confused.
Yeah, it was exactly the word you used. He looked lost.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you've seen fights where fighters, you look at him and go, what's going on with you? Because you can tell that they're there, but their brain is going off in different directions. It's just not, they want to be anywhere in the world at this moment than where they're at.
Yeah.
And that's what it looked like to me with him in this fight.
And I don't know, that hit a little bit deeper for me when I'm watching him just, and then, just the domination and the feeling. I felt bad for him because no matter how talented you are, no matter how good you are, no matter whatever tools you bring inside that cage, it's just you and that opponent. And if you can't figure it out, you've got to figure. And as much as we want to say, hey, corners can do this, corners can do that, they can't fight for you.
No,
you've got to do it yourself. And he has so much ability.
Oh, he's talented.
He's so talented. His movement, all of those things. Like if I'm him, I say, hey, I made a mistake. I bit off more than I can chew in this fight, but I know I can do better. And just get back to basically nothing but wrestling.
Yeah.
Nothing but wrestling. We don't have to worry about your striking. Your striking is
good. Yeah.
Your striking is good. And I'm not saying we abandon it. But what we do is we spend 2-3 days a week working wrestling, and we spend 2 days of working striking a week, and then we work on, obviously staying in shape and doing all the other stuff that goes along with being in the sport. But he has so much to offer this sport and this lightweight division. Let's not forget that this division it's stacked, yeah, but there's a lot of old heads that are about to move on. And that's not a dig at the old heads. I mean, you guys are holding up the division. You guys are literally holding up the division, like as in a good way.
You got to figure in this match though. Going into this match, I think Mauricio Ruffy was ranked 15th by the UFC, and Saint-Denis was ranked 13th.
Yeah,
that was not a performance that showed that. It looked like a number 1 against a number 25.
That's a little rough.
I'm just being
I get it though. I get what you're trying to do.
Where was Saint-Denis ever in any trouble or danger in that fight?
Never.
And it's just he walked, and I'm going to say he walked through a really good fighter, a guy I know that can fight, and it seemed to me like just like you, mentally he just wasn't there.
Yeah, I go back to the O'Day Osborne and the skinny kid with
Steve
Ursig. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to describe you that way, Steve.
Astro Boy.
It just comes down to when you can start threatening the wrestling, it changes the way an opponent fights you. Yeah. And we saw that tonight as soon as he got taken down that first time and got controlled and was able to survive.
Yeah.
And the next one came so quick and easy, and it was like, "Jeez, man, he's here. Like he's gonna keep pushing me. He's gonna keep." And so now I can't let my stand up go. Then he threw that knee on the second one and he smothered it, didn't land it clean. And it was, okay, well, now knees might be out of it. Fighter, I don't know if fans quite understand. Sure, I'm thinking I'm going to land a knee or an uppercut. Then the wrestling happens so fast that the knee doesn't land clean. Okay, well, knees are out now. Fighters really think like that. They think like, okay, look, he's
I can't do that again.
I can't do that again. Yeah. The knee didn't work. Now let's move on. And I'll give you guys an example. Another situation with me is I fought Tony Ferguson. I'm like, I'm going to take this dude down, control him, dominate him. My very first takedown, easy takedown, double leg. He spins, turns, does a frontward roll, comes out. I'm like, there goes takedowns. I pretty much didn't shoot a takedown again until I got in trouble. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those mental things that I should have been like, hell no, right back into it. That tells you a mindset of a fighter of that, like, okay, it's gone, it's out the door. Guys and just what sets guys apart from being the greatest of all time or being one of the best ever is the Khabib mentality of, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. Guys like me who I was a Strikeforce world champion, but I was never a UFC world champion. My mentality was, okay, get away from that. It should have never have been that. It should have been take him down again, make him feel uncomfortable. Never did that. Khabib's mentality would have been, who cares?
If it takes 100.
Probably wouldn't even have thought about the fact that he didn't get the takedown. I'm going to get the next one. I'm just trying to put you guys as listeners into a
sometimes the way a fighter's mind works.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way that I fought Gilbert the first fight was even if he does take me down, because I thought he was going to try to take me down over and over. I was like, he's not gonna be able to hold me down. Even if he does, I'm getting back up. And if you guys go back and watch that fight, that's exactly how it worked. Even if he did take me down, I got right back up. That's the mentality you need to go in with every single fight. That's why that fight was so dominated. It was 50-44, 50-45 on all judges' scorecards. The mentality was, I'm going to outstrike you. I'm going to out wrestle you. I'm going to do everything. Khabib's mentality has always been, I'm going to take you down and fucking annihilate you. I'm going to destroy you in ground and pound. I'm going to do these things. Saint-Denis had that mentality tonight, just like Imavov had that mentality tonight. And Ruffy didn't have that. He had, okay, look, after I lost my first takedown, it was over. I didn't want to be here. It was too difficult to get myself back up. And the second takedown, when it happened so easily, it was gone. Everything was like, I don't want to be in here at all. I can't stop the takedowns. He's strong. You can see that Saint-Denis is very dense. Like his body almost feels like when he grabs you and he just hangs on you and holds you, you're like, damn, this is rough.
He's strong. He's controlling.
Yeah, very strong, very controlling, very dense body, and Ruffy just had no answer. And so I feel for him. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of abilities. If I'm him, I go back to the drawing board, but I go back to the drawing board in terms of wrestling, because not a lot of guys are going to stand with you, man. Yeah. And once you get confident in terms of the wrestling category, your stand-up's going to accelerate even more, way more.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what changes he makes between now and his next fight. And Saint-Denis, great job by him, man. Yeah. Great job by him. Dominant performance. You got Bukauskas versus Paul Craig.
This is one of those. It's Paul Craig has never been real good in the stand-up. He always has the tendency to jump guard. Jumping guard was something you did back when I could fight, 1992, 93. I'm sorry. I look at a guy doing it now.
I'm coughing and laughing at himself.
That's exactly it. I look at a guy doing it now. It's like, oh my God, stop.
I did it in the Yves Edwards fight.
That was in 2003.
Yeah, and then he was beating me up he was holding me up against the fence and beating me up from the standing position. So I just dropped down and got out of the guard position. Never actually got him down.
But you look and you go, you can't fight the way he fights today and be successful. You just can't. Paul Craig's got a good ground game, but even when he goes to the ground, he has, and I don't know if it's a reflex action or, I just know someone has had to talk to him and said, dude, you lift your chin. You continuously lift your chin. And you lift your chin not even in the stand-up. You lift it when you're on the ground. Your head's trying to pull away. You can't do that. That will end up causing you serious problems in this, sporting event. And he does it. And, the elbow, I'm not saying the elbow that, Bukauskas hit him with, look, that would have hurt anybody. It was right at the end of the round. But, Paul Craig is, he's been fun to watch. He's won some matches that you look and you go, I got to be impressed. He won that. But he's lost a lot of the ones that you look and you go, why did you do that? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I look and will this be the end?
Yeah, he retired.
I know, but they always come back.
I think
they always come back.
I think he's done. Yeah.
Will this be the end?
I mean, who knows? I guess who knows? I mean, like until you become better at being one-dimensional, then it should be the end. It should be the end. Like if you're going to be a one-dimensional fighter, you need to be a world-class level jiu-jitsu guy.
You need to be Gordon Ryan or fucking Craig Jones or Ruotolo.
And even those guys, man, those guys are struggling. Like we'll talk about the Tybura Ruotolo fight a little bit. Yeah. He even looked a little sloppy and just because the punches come and the changes and it's different. He's on a whole different level.
Yeah, it's also a different pace. And when you're so used to the grappling pace and you're not getting hit, I have no problem with what Ty Ruotolo did in his fight. And like you said, we'll talk about that, but it's when you've had as many fights at the level that Paul Craig's had him at, and you still make those same mistakes that, it's like, you can't do that.
Yeah. There's no, that we haven't seen any improvement in terms of what he is trying to accomplish and getting better. Yeah. And one of the biggest takeaways that I've always had, and I learned this from GSP, had a moment to talk with him in San Jose one time, and I wanted to give him praise, man. The guy he evolved with the game. He constantly got better. When he was mainly stand up,
he changed his game.
Yeah, when he mainly was stand up, he became a wrestler. When he became a wrestler, he became a submission guy. He made his game. He evolved his game as the sport evolved.
Yep.
And he did a great job, and that's what made him. To me, I think he's still the greatest of all time. I think he's the greatest of all time. I know a lot of people have John, have other reasons, but anyways, bottom line is GSP to me is somebody that he's made sure that he's evolved with the game, and it worked for him, and he took it to a whole nother level. In this position with Paul Craig, he's never made any changes. Like Damian Maia even had better efforts in terms of trying to be a better stand-up guy.
Oh yeah,
he was mainly all jiu-jitsu.
Damian Maia became an actual pretty decent stand-up guy at a certain point, and he had none in the beginning.
No,
he had none.
But even at the end, it wasn't great, but it worked for his game.
Yeah,
and Paul Craig has never evolved that at all. Like you said, chin up in the air when he backs away or when punches are being thrown. Yeah. When he's on the ground. Simple, normal jiu-jitsu defense is to go to a scissor guard kind of position or knees into the
shield inside.
Knee shield to kind of keep the space. It's not there. I just can't wrap my head around. And he doesn't move his head. He doesn't move side to side like he's trying to shuffle to make it harder for you to hit him. He stays with his head flat.
Straight right
literally
there.
Right in line.
Oh, I know.
And as you throw a punch, he just takes it and then just stays there. Yeah. I can't wrap my head around it. I saw this years ago against somebody he had fought, and I was like, damn, man. You're literally just taking fucking blow after blow.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't figure out why, but
he's not a lot of them.
Look, no changes to be made on his end. He's retired now. We'll see if he ends up making a comeback at any point, any time, but it won't be in the UFC. I can tell you that. He'll have to go either PFL or he'll have to go to a smaller show, so I'm not sure if that'll warrant him coming back. In terms of Bukauskas, whatever. He had a great fight.
Yeah,
he had a good fight. Great job. Great elbows. And I think I heard Paul Felder say, "This is why you fight to the last bell. Don't stop just because there's only a second or two left. You could land that one shot that puts him away." Yep. And literally, was it Mark Goddard? I think was the ref. Yeah, Mark Goddard. He looked down and he's he gave him a second to try and get up. Didn't give up. Waved it off. Great job. Great job. That'll be the last praise I give referees tonight. Mason Jones versus Balaji Oki.
Freaking phenomenal fight.
Absolutely.
Fight of the night. Freaking was awesome the whole way through. You got to give, Oki he hurt him in the beginning. He had him and after, he spent himself trying to get rid of him. And I go, uh-oh, now what do you do? And it's one of those, you haven't taken any damage, but you're the one that's in trouble. And it was here comes Mason Jones. And let me ask you this. End of the first round, who won it?
I gave it still to Oki end of the first round. It was close, John.
It's a tough one.
It was tough.
It's a tough one.
It was tough. But because I felt like he did a lot of damage, even when he did get on top, he did drop him. When he did get on top, he landed some good hard shots.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't. I'd have to go back and see how long he controlled that. Was it 2.5 minutes?
About 2 minutes.
Yeah, I would give it to Oki. I would give it to Oki and that because dropping somebody means that you really fucking rattled their brain.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's the most damage.
Well, did not Mason Jones drop him?
Not at the end of in the first.
Oh yeah.
Did he drop him in the first?
Oh yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
did.
Did I miss something? I must have missed it.
You must have missed something.
Kids were running in and out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said it was so close. It's I can understand someone going both ways on it. I always kind of go, and it's tough because you kind of remember what happened towards the end more than you remember what happened at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I also look at the way that Mason Jones was able to come back from it. He worked his way out of it. There was no stopping of it, no saving by the bell, any of that stuff. He worked his way out of it and then put that ass whipping back on Balaji. So it was just a great fight.
Okay, so who did you score the first round then for?
I didn't score it. I'm being honest. I didn't. As I was sitting there, I'm like, I want to see what the scorecards are because that was
George. This fool taking a push. You believe this? He's he literally scammed me into saying this fucking
but I'm being honest. I really because I looked at it and I go, shit, you could go both ways on that thing. I honestly think I would have gone Mason Jones. I'm being honest about that.
Is in a scenario like this, do you give it a 10-10 because you're like, damn, it was so close
No.
both ways? No,
you can't.
You got it. That's
I
I
always
when
say
the half round scoring system comes into play.
See, but and it's like when people talk about 10-10s, you can't. That round had everything.
So you
And
give it
yes, but you got to freaking be able to pick out what you thought was the better of what occurred. A 10-10 happens when nothing happens.
Yeah. Okay. So do you give it a 9-9 then? Like, I don't know what you give it. Like, how do you say when both guys get dropped, they both come back, they both like
It was.
Two judges gave it to Oki.
Okay. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
so one gave it to that's and I understand that, and it's not like I don't think you could have been wrong.
Yeah.
Going either way, and I mean that. That's why I said, how did you have it? I wasn't trying to put you on the spot and go, oh, you're an idiot. No, I was like, dude, it was so close. I was like, man, that is. I want to know which way they went.
Sorry, guys, I didn't recall the Oki getting knocked down, so that's why. Yeah, but I still would have given it to Oki probably. Okay. I don't know, maybe I got to see how bad Oki got dropped. Yeah, did he get like his? Like Mason Jones, he literally almost got like swept off of his feet.
Oh no, yeah. I think the Okies was probably a better knockdown on Mason as far as the one, but it was close on both, and then just the entire round was fantastic. Yeah. That's what MMA is about, right there.
Yeah. If you take a look at Mason Jones's fight with Jeremy Stephens, fantastic fight.
Yeah,
fantastic fight. And then they put him in this position right here. John, I'm just thankful that I'm not a lightweight anymore. Like these guys, I saw the density of his body. I saw how thick his legs are, his waistline, his trunk.
Yeah, dude.
I wasn't looking at his ass, John.
Yes, you were. You were looking, going, damn, that's some strength in that ass. I don't got an ass really, like that.
Oki, though, it's built very much the same way. Just like both of them, a little bit more slender, a little bit more leaner. Like, but
I think I thought Oki's is a little bit more muscular looking on top. But his legs are thinner than Mason's, and power comes from the legs most of the time. Man. But Oki he's got speed.
Yeah, great fight,
fast
man.
Hands. Yeah, great fight.
Great fight. Phenomenal. Mason Jones is going to be one of those guys.
Oh,
he is going to be a guy that people are going to love watching.
Cut.
Yeah,
he got. If you remember, he got cut.
Oh, he did win.
He got cut by the UFC, and he went back to I want to say it was Cage Warriors, wasn't it? Yeah, he went back to Cage Warriors, and then the UFC picked him back up. He's now I think Jeremy was his first fight back.
Mason Jones.
George, check that.
Mason Jones was his first fight back.
I thought Jeremy Stephens was Mason Jones's first fight back from.
He was.
Okay.
Yeah. Because so I didn't know Mason. Okay, so then I remember one of Mason's first fights.
Okay,
because he was in the UFC. Something's going on. Dun, dun, dun. I'm trying.
I think his last fight in the UFC, he had lost to Ludwig Klein. Like I remember.
Yep.
Okay,
he beat David Onama before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Onama fight was a fucking like barn burner of a fight too.
So was his Mike Davis fight because Mike Davis can fucking swat.
There you go.
That's a hell of a fight.
So there was just fights where he had gotten a lot of trouble, came back, and then very much what he did in this fight.
Yep.
What's crazy is he gets a win over Jeremy Stephens, and then they put him in the main card.
Yeah.
So obviously he's made some changes. He's doing well. He's fun to watch, John.
That's it right there. Dude, who do you want to put on your main card? I want people that are exciting. Yeah. I want people that are going to go out and frickin' do it. And right now, his fight against Jeremy Stephens was fantastic.
Yeah.
And his fight now against Oki, fantastic. So he's on the right track.
Jeremy Stephens, man. He's got a big fight coming up.
Dude, he does. Jeremy Stephens is a gangster.
Love that guy.
He's just a fucking gangster.
He called me out when I was in Vegas working Baroka. He's like, hey, man, you thought Eddie was going to beat me. He's like, I heard you. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, bro, I thought Eddie would, because Eddie's walking around. I just talked to Eddie the other day.
Eddie's too big.
Eddie's like 205 pounds right now.
Yeah.
So I was like Eddie's walking around like a lot bigger than you. He's like, yeah. He's like, but he can't, he can't hit like me. I'm like, Eddie can box, man.
He can hit. Yeah.
Eddie was putting it on Mike Perry before he got hurt. I was like, geez, man. Yeah. So anyways, I look at that. I look at Mason Jones. He's gonna be one of those fighters that is gonna be basically like be on the main card a lot because he can take a lot of damage. He finds ways to come back, And he makes it a fun fight, man.
Yep.
He's looking for the finish. I love when he jumped to the guillotine, threatened that a little bit. I would like to have seen him throw some more elbows in that position, but I love the new 12-6, John. It's changed. It's going to change the game a little bit more in terms of damage, in terms of like movement.
The more you can open things up, the more offensive guys can be.
Absolutely. Axel Sola versus Rise McKee.
I think Sola going into this was had a 10-fight win streak or something like that. I know he was 10-1, but early loss. Heard all kinds of stuff about very similar to. They talked about Wonder Boy and things like that, and I'm like, after watching him, nope,
no,
sorry. But I will say this: some of the things that he does really well, and he throws a straight left down the pipe. God damn, it's picture perfect.
Yeah,
he throws a combination. His punches are straight, so they get there faster, and that was a huge part of the damage that he did to McKee. McKee was, in it tough as hell. But you can see McKee throwing all these looping shots, and some of them got through, but it was the straight shots and some of the shots to the body that Sola was throwing, and those things add up, man. And the one body shot, I know that I think they said that it was a fast stoppage. I didn't think so. When you get hit to the body like Reese McKee, and you go down and you start to cover the way he's covering, hey, you're kind of saying the body shot has taken care of you. It has put you in a position that you're not going to recover. So I can understand, it's close, but I enjoyed watching the fight. I thought Reese actually fought a really good fight. He's tough as hell. And Sola, he pulled it out like he was supposed to. I think, if you take a look at how that fight was set up, they were expecting Sola to win. He did, but he had some difficulty in doing it. So it made it a good fight.
Yeah, I thought it was a little early stoppage. I'm not mad at it. It was like one of those, I'm not mad at it. There was another fight that I thought was an early stoppage. I can't remember which one. But the Rise McKee one was like one of them. It's just like, you could have let it go. You could have let it go a little bit longer. Let the guy try to get out of there. But that's me though. Like, I'm going to give you a different opinion than obviously Big John. Big John's going to be like, let's fighter safety, all that bullshit that no one wants to hear. And then I'm going to give you like, let him die kind of position because we knew when we signed the contract, that's what we wanted to do. And so we were ready to go out there and let it all hang out. And especially if you're on the main card, if you're that guy that's on the main card, you should be ready to go out there and be like, hey, I deserve a little extra love and the ref should let me go ahead and fight through it. Yeah. He was clearly outmatched though, John.
Yes.
In this position. So Sola looked good. He's not ready for like a Stephen Thompson.
He's not ready for prime time.
No, he's not. Yeah, not yet.
No, he's good a little bit farther.
Good stuff though. William Gomis versus Robert Ruchala.
I thought Gomis in the end he landed the better strikes overall. I thought Ruchala had some moments that he looked good. He kept on using the same takedown and it worked every time for him. I'm like, William. If they landed on you once, I understand, but that's not a dynamic takedown. You should not be letting put you on the ground more than one time. But it did. But when the fight was on the feet, which was for most of the action of the fight, and the real problem was Ruchala didn't have a whole lot on the ground as far as damaging. There just wasn't, and so it was really more of what was happening in the stand-up. And Gomis was the better stand-up fighter. When we figured that, we've seen him for years now fighting. Now he's in the UFC and he's a good stand-up fighter. The real way to beat him is put him on his back.
Yeah.
But Ruchala wasn't able to do that with any ground efficiency. So
you got to put some work in on the top.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that you have the control. If you're not doing damage in terms of punches, you've got to make sure that you're looking for submissions, threading the side choke, looking to pass, looking to work on some sort of taking the back, whatever it is, Kimuras, whatever it is, you got to be working towards that. There's like a chain of, I don't understand. There's a chain of submissions that are almost always available. Okay. You've got side choke, Kimura from that 3/4 mount. Those are the ones you should be working. If you're working to a 3/4 mount, they can also go elbows, but submission wise, you've got the side choke and you've got the Kimuras. Yep. Straight arm locks are available as well. A little bit more hard to get, especially as you get sweaty. And if guys start turning sideways, you're looking to take their back, sit them up, put them into your lap, whatever it is. anything along those lines. Mount position. What I saw tonight was anytime you're in the mount, 12 to 6 elbows. Doesn't matter. 12 to 6 elbows. That was what I saw. Like, I didn't see any of that when you're in the top position. You've got to get to work. You've got to work for submission or look to do damage. Steve versus Ribeiro.
Let's be honest. This was Umar C is a physical being.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's big. And when I say big, this is 205. Just look at, I don't know if you noticed, take a look at the size of his foot compared to his opponent's foot. You go, what do you got, a size 17 fucking foot, man? It's
John looking at asses and feet tonight.
Asses and feet, man. That's it, man. I'm serious, dude. He has got big feet. Because when he's kicking with him, I go, that's a heavy foot. But
John,
he's.
Do you have an OnlyFans account for feet? Like, is that you got an OF account for that?
I need to ask this question: how does anyone have any kind of fetish for feet? Feet are fucking ugly.
Majority of them are, yeah.
Oh no, not majority.
My wife's got some pretty sexy feet.
Oh, see, there you go. Now you just put out you do have a fucking fetish for feet.
Hers.
Okay, all right. But no, this was actually, for the most part, Omar C's been in there a couple of times. He's looked good. He's looked dominant. He's physically strong. He hits hard, and just continue on. He's got the ability with where he's at in the light heavyweight division. It's not going to take but a couple more fights that he's up there.
Yeah. Antonio Delija versus Marcin Tybura. John,
go ahead.
Fast hands.
Yeah, well, this is look at Ante Delija. He's from the PFL. He won the PFL championship one time. He's always had fast hands, but he has a problem staying on his feet too. And when people take him off his feet, he becomes very average. And at a certain point, I thought Marcin might get that takedown because he works that up and down up against the cage pretty well. But the best part about Ante Delija, and you have said this too many times, I have said it too many times, you can't just throw ones and twos. You got to throw combinations, because a lot of times the 1-2 does not connect, but the 3-4 does. And this is the perfect example of a fight. Look at how many combinations Ante Delija threw at times. And it wasn't the 1s and 2s that landed, but the 3, 4s, 5s did. And if you look at the finishing sequence on him, his 1-2 were blocked, but the 3-4 blasted him. And then he ended up, finishing it on the ground and stuff. And so you look and you go, and that's why you throw combinations past the 1s and 1-2s, because that's how you get rid of opponents at times. I really like Ante Delija. He's a good person, and he's worked hard to get to this point. And so it was nice to see him get that win, because I know what that means to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, he'll be another one that's, look, I'm gonna tread lightly here. It's one of those things where you've got 3 fighters, and all I've heard was, like, because I had a couple people tweet me going, the curse is broken. The Bellator PFL guys have won. I'm like, you have to remember, you got 3 guys that are in the top, they're ranked in the top 15. He's now ranked number 7. His first fight in the UFC. Like, I know the heavyweight division is extremely weak.
Is he ranked number 7 already?
Yeah, because Tybura was number 7.
Oh my, okay.
And John, though, all 3 of those fighters are over 35.
Yeah.
Well, so you're saying that 35-year-olds can come in and just get into the top 10 rankings?
Absolutely, in the heavyweight division.
Well, no, you've got Patricio's in number 12 or 13, and you've got an MVP who's number 10 or 11 now.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you've got fighters that are like, these aren't even the better fighters. So yeah, fighters across the board, whether from whatever, they can come over to the UFC and they can all compete.
Well,
if
hold on.
They couldn't compete, then John, they wouldn't be in the rankings.
This is true, but if you take a look at the rankings right now, I know RDR in the 185s. He's where at? He's at number 4.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's, let's say, it's actually less than 1 year out of being with one.
And then Kayla Harrison's the champion.
Harrison is the champion at 135. I mean, there's so many. You look and you go.
So I have a question. Why are the rules different for RDR and Kayla Harrison? And I'm sure there'll be some rules change too for Delija. like, why is it not because Pico came over so hyped that he doesn't get the love? Like, I know he was looking good up until the moment of the spinning elbow, whatever it is. But I'm confused on what is it that we, I guess for me, what is it that you and I have to say to get fans to be like, hey, these guys are actually not bad. I just want to know, like, is there something that you maybe know that I don't know? And
no, there's nothing that I know that you know, and there's nothing that you know that I don't know. As far as here, this is what I know. There's people on social media that if they at any point can say, "Aha, told you," that's their fucking thing, and they're gonna do it. Go ahead, it's okay. You know, it doesn't bother. Doesn't bother me at all because I really don't read it.
But I want to know, do they believe that, or is it just to say that us as professionals and us as experts, quotations, by the way, if you're listening to this on Spotify, or iTunes.
Air quotes?
Yeah, I have my air quotes. I'm just simply saying, like, what is it that we have to, like, there's a PFL champion right now in the UFC in Kayla Harrison. There's a number 4 ranked guy from ONE FC. There is now Marcin Tybura, who is 35 years old. Or sorry, not Marcin Tybura. Delija, who's now ranked who will now be number 7 or number 8. Yeah. He just beat Marcin Tybura. Yeah. He'll be ranked now. He's 35 years old. Patricio Pitbull is, and has always been a smaller 45 pounder, but he's also 38 years old. He's ranked now in the top 15. The guys can compete. And then who is MVP? He's ranked number 38.
He's Patricio's 38 and he's ranked number 11.
Okay, number 11. And then MVP is what? He just beat
I think MVP was he was in the 170-pound class, and I believe that they just put him, I think he's number 10 at the 185s. I don't know if he's
number 10 right now. Yep.
Okay. I don't know
if he's number 10 right now in that position. I'm just, look, in no way am I going to sit here and grandstand for the PFL. I don't work for them. I don't have any relationship with them. I'm simply saying that I'm a fighter that when I was in the UFC early, and then I went to Pride, that I fought in Strikeforce, became a champion there. Then I came back to the UFC and then went to Bellator. I fought in every major organization. I fought in Dream. I fought in every major organization there was during the times that I was fighting. That being said, there's good fighters everywhere. Eddie Alvarez came over, from Bellator and became a champion. Give these guys their due. Eddie's always been a talent. Like, let's not take away credit from these guys that have come over, and females that have come over and had success. Like, oh, well, they did this, they did. No. And it doesn't matter where they came from, because at the moment they became a UFC fighter, they're a UFC fighter. It doesn't matter if they came from the PFL. It doesn't matter if they came from Bellator. They now are a UFC fighter. That was one of the conversations that we always had with fighters that when Bellator was bought, was like, you're no longer a Bellator fighter. You're a PFL fighter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Stop calling yourself a Bellator fighter. I had these conversations with fighters that had came over, and they're like, yeah, when that first fight happened with the champ versus champ, it was this big deal.
That one you could kind of understand them saying, because they were put in the position by the promotion.
Yeah.
To be, you're a Bellator guy, you're going up against, okay, no problem. I'll be the Bellator guy. I'll be the PFL guy, whatever.
Yeah.
That was done by the promotion. I understand that. After that point, dude, you're all fucking PFL fighters.
You're all PFL fighters. Yeah. And the ones that came over, and not all of them, are going to have success. I have a strong belief that Aaron Pico will have a great career. I'm not saying he'll ever be champion. I'm saying that I think he's going to have a strong career. As in, like, he'll be in the top 5, in the top 8, somewhere in there throughout his whole career. I'm sorry.
He's going to be someone that people go, oh, he's really good. No shit.
John, look, if you're ever in the top 10 in the UFC, I don't want to hear anyone say he sucks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't ever want to hear like, oh, yeah, he's not as good. No, the guy's in the top 10. That's it. Like, you've got 3 fighters right now that are 35 plus years old, and they're in the top 15 in the UFC. They are fucking good. Yeah. The fact that they're still doing it at 35, 38, and 38, that's phenomenal. And they're in the top 10 or top 15. That's phenomenal. Please stop saying these guys suck. They don't suck. They're phenomenal. No. Okay. Like, I just had someone text me and go like, oh, the jinx is over. Delija won. The jinx has been over. Like, it was MVP is in the top. And then you've got Patricio is now in the rankings. Like, Pico will be in the rankings. Like I said, stylistically, he will be in the rankings when he gets a matchup that works for him. That matchup wasn't a good matchup, but it was still, you got to be able to beat those guys if you want to be a champion. He will. I'm not saying he'll be champion, but he will be one of those fighters people look back and be like, damn, fuck, he was good.
Yep, I agree.
Go ahead. What's the next one, John? Sorry, I got off that page.
That's all right. We had Fernandes going up against Harry Hardwick. This is the one that ended with the leg kicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, I've watched Harry Hardwick fight multiple times now. I think this was the third time I've watched him. And I've watched him when he was in Cage Warriors. He's a good, tough young fighter. His legs just got annihilated by a guy that is very accurate. You take a look at all those shots landed in the exact same spot. And his legs were taken. Someone cut the tree down. There's nothing you can do. I actually thought Herb took too long to stop it because when the guy's rolling around like a pencil going down the fucking mat, and it's like, it's time to say the fight's over. Don't let the guy come and jump on him. And it's like a beautiful win by Fernandes. I don't know why he was getting booed. I thought, if you're going to look and say that was a hell of a performance, even though, maybe some people don't understand how much that hurts, but beautifully done by Fernandes.
Yeah.
They booed him because he was Brazilian. That was the only reason.
Is that the whole thing? I get it did seem like, France against Brazil a little bit on the night.
Yeah.
But
I saw there was a post by Cub Swanson saying that Harry Hardwick is the worst fighter in the UFC. Little rough. And then he went on and said some more stuff on that.
I want to say Cubs above that.
He is. But it was, I don't know if there was something that was said or something that bothered him. Maybe there was a pass something. I don't know what it was, but I read that. Fernandes had a good game plan, man. The leg kicks came. He used his length and his reach to go ahead and execute those leg kicks. Hardwick had no answer for it. You could see after like the third leg kick, it wasn't going to go well.
Oh, yeah. It was
like, damn. And then it hit both legs. You're like, it's over. It's done. It's done. Like the people don't realize the very first leg kick you get on the lead leg, you can take 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Soon as you switch stances, like, oh, you're going to be safe. Now you switch stances. No, that back leg has never been kicked before. It doesn't get kicked at all. You kick me one time, it's going to last 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Like my lead leg can last probably, I don't know. 4,
you build up
5,
a callus,
whatever it is. You can build up a little bit on that.
Yeah.
The back leg, it's the worst. It's the worst. I used to do this little thing where I would do like a step around back leg thigh kick because one of my coaches did it to me one time. Derek Ewan was like a Muay Thai guy that we ended up being one of my coaches later on. But man, I would spar with him all the time. And he would do a little step around off my jab and kick my back leg. He kicked me twice. And I'd be like, all right, don't kick my back leg anymore. Just stop. Just stop. This guy, I swear, you would think he was Korean, but he wasn't. But he was Asian. But he would do a step around and kick my back leg. He had these tree trunk legs because Koreans normally have like really big calves and legs. But no, he would just obliterate my fucking legs. Hated it. So fantastic. Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters.
Wow, this fight, I really thought this was going to be a great fight. As far as Sam Patterson, I knew was much better on the ground than Trey Waters, but both of them in the stand-up are really sharp and accurate and good. And I really thought, okay, this is going to be a fun, exciting fight until it hits the ground. If it hits the ground and Sam Patterson's on top, he's gonna be able to control and take Trey. But in the stand-up, I was like, wow, this is gonna be great. And Trey, it was like, to me, he was out there playing a little bit too much. He was trying to get a little too slick, and while he was getting slick, Sam was hitting him with clean shots that put him in a position where he was unable to defend himself. And maybe this is the fight you thought was stopped, or this one he was standing on his feet when it was stopped, but I thought it was a good stop.
Yeah,
because he was done.
Yeah, this definitely was the fight that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Do I think
that's why I brought it up?
Do I think he was done? Yeah, I think he was done.
Yeah.
I guess I go back to my original conversation. I think we've had several times. It's like, if you're on the undercard, I can see why you stop it.
Yeah.
You're not a main event. You're not a main card fighter.
He's not a main card. It's not
not trying to get you killed.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't need the last nail in the coffin.
Yep.
I understand all of that. I do get it. But I also was the next fight was also another fight that I thought was stopped a little early.
Boy, that one, I'll agree maybe with that one.
Okay.
Okay.
And then knowing who Brad Tavares is, you got to know who
and
Brad is.
that's part of the reason
And that's
why.
part of the conversation, right?
Yes, that's a big
Sam
part of the
Patterson, I thought
conversation.
looked great. I thought that Waters was getting the better of him in terms of on the feet. They just seemed like he had the harder shots, but then Patterson was very clean with his striking, stayed composed, all of those things. And then Patterson started. The jab was really working for Patterson. Loved what he was doing with the jab, and then it set everything else up. And then once he did rock him, he stayed. What I loved, and I think the commentary did a great job of saying, very calm and composed, pushed after him, didn't just like flurry caveman style, like anyways. I was gonna say
see someone losing
Vanderlei. I was gonna say Vanderlei, like how Vanderlei used to do it, just like caveman style.
That's caveman.
I kept wanting to say Wanderlei, and it wasn't coming out. So, but more like that. He stayed very composed, tracked after him, clean, landed the good shots. Thought it was a great job. So, but the next fight, John, was another fight that I thought was an early stoppage, and just knowing who Brad Tavares is.
Okay. There is a difference here when you know who Brad is, and this is a guy that's had, God knows, I'm going to say close to 25 fights in the UFC. He's up there.
Yeah.
And this is one where you take a moment and you tell him, Brad, move, get out. And what I've told him in the back, when I say move, get out, that means I need you to change what you're doing. If you're covering up, I need you to try to grab a hold of him, stop his offense, move your position. You can't stay with what you're doing. If you stay with your position, I'm telling you, I'm going to stop your fight. But I got to give him that.
Yeah.
And that's what I think was missing just in that one. Even though I will say that Robert Bryczek just went out and put on, he obviously has got some power because Brad's good in the stand-up and he takes a good shot. And, man, Bryczek hurt him multiple times in that fight.
Yeah.
And you could tell the power of what he was getting hit with. Brad was having problems. So, very nice fight by this kid from Poland. He's good.
Yeah.
He's got some bombs in his hands.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit in the second round. I didn't see the whole first round because my app had technical difficulties. Like I missed the whole Fakhretdinov fight.
Oh,
my thing said I had my ESPN app shut down and just said technical difficulties on it.
Yeah.
So, but the Tavares fight, Bryczek, he had a hard time with the second round where Brad was on his bike, sticking and moving.
Okay, and again, we talk about hey, what was the difference in that round? The first round, he put Tavares down. Mm-hmm. He had him in trouble big time. And so you look and you go, what happened? Well, first off, there is a difference between following someone and cutting off the cage. God damn, you're following him. You're putting yourself into bad angles and bad placement based upon the following. Your job is to cut that cage off and make him have to move into your power. That's what, and he wasn't doing that, and that it showed the difference. And I actually thought Tavares won the second round.
Oh, he did.
I had Brad winning the second round, so it was going into the third. It was questionable on who was going to win it. You could have looked at the first, could have been a 10-8 round depending upon certain things if they're looking at it, but he definitely was damaged. So the third round was the one that made the difference. And again, it was the power. The power was the difference maker in this fight. But it was a really good fight, and I want to see this kid fight again just to see, okay, how does his next opponent deal with the power, and can he put it on target like he did against Brad?
Yeah. What do you take away from the stoppage, John? Like what's your, like, how could what was the rest name? Bosaki or something like that, right?
Lucas Bosaki.
There you go. I mean, like, I don't want to say do better, but how can he do better?
How you do better is you have to know your fighters. Okay. Josh, every time, even when I was working with Bellator, you knew, because you would sit there and listen to them. You had referees coming up and having their sheet of who they were refereeing. They say, what about this guy? What about this guy?
What do you know about
this guy? What do you know about this guy? Right. And I would answer, hey, this is what this guy's good at. This is what you're going to be looking for. And those are the things that make it to when you're the referee, you can settle down in the fight and not, you're not going to be perfect, as far as, everything, but it'll give you an idea of, I know what I'm looking for from each guy. And I know when this guy's doing this, he's doing well. He wants to be there. And I know when this guy's doing this, he's doing well. And so you look at it and you go, what I need to know in this one is, first off, I know who Brad Tavares is. I know that I've seen him fight, a lot of times. Yes, he's in the prelims, but he's a veteran fighter. And so I know that he's pulled himself out of bad situations in the past. And so I'm going to try to give him that, ability. If he gets into a bad situation, I'm going to give him the time by telling him in the back, hey, this is what I'm going to say to you. This is what I expect from you. If you give it to me, I'm going to let you continue on in the fight. When you don't complain when I stop your fight. And so you're putting it on to Brad. And, Brad is going to be like a lot of fighters. He's going to sit there and he's going to try to cover up and, gain that moment that he feels like he can move. But when he hears you, and I can tell you, this is in working with him, he's going to respond because he's that veteran fighter. He understands and he responds to when you tell him, hey, move, get out, because I can't have you sit there getting pounded on. If he doesn't, then you can stop it. So with the referee, Lucas is a guy who he referees quite often in the UFC, usually the European events. He's from Poland. He's a good person. He's a good referee. And this isn't a horrible stoppage, but if you're going to say, could he have done better based upon the fighter, you might have wanted to give Brad just a little bit more in this circumstance. But, again, not bad.
No, not at all. It wasn't bad. It was just like Brad's one of those guys. He's still got power. Yeah. He can still work his way out of that type of thing. You never know what's going to happen. I just look at someone like Bryczek or whatever, how you say his name, is like he's someone that also could have tried to punch himself out on Brad, and Brad could have came back and tried to land a hard shot. Yeah. For me, I give those guys that extra. That's from a fighter's perspective, you guys.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna be
okay. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you this because I was in Vegas last weekend and stuff, and one of the things there was a class. It's called Soul Arbiter. It's done by Jack Reese for boxing officials, and he puts on the courses throughout the year. And so he had a course there in Vegas. It was at the Orleans Hotel, and so he says, "Hey, stop by." Right? And I said, "Okay, I'll stop by."
The Orleans.
Yeah, the Orleans
forever.
Yeah. And so I go there, and it's great to see. He's got a full class, and Paul Bontello is one of the students there, right? And so I see Paul and Chris Liebman's in there, and there's all these guys, all these officials that I know, and so it's good to see them, trying to switch over. But one of the things, I went up, and gave a little talk in it and stuff, and one of the things I said is, listen to these guys, because one is Jack, who has been a top world-class referee for a lot of huge fights that people have seen. And one of his assistants is Tom Taylor, who will be doing the Canelo versus Bud Crawford fight here next week. You can't get better information than what these guys are getting from. And but one of the things I said is, hey, take your fighter hat, set it over there. You're going to be an official now. It's a different hat you got to wear, and you got to look at this different. And you got to react to things different because it's a different world. You're now not trying to make warriors. You're trying to save people from damage, and sometimes you got to do it. But so it was funny, and I talked to Paul for a while and stuff, and he's doing good in there, and he's enjoying himself, and that's good to see.
That's the thing, man.
That is.
That's the thing. He's got kids that are older now, so they don't need all the attention. Like he can spend time on the road.
I told him as long as he stays off the the internet and stays off of social media, and so you don't have to listen to all the people that tell you how horrible you are. You're gonna love it, right?
I mean, the thing with I guess the thing with being a ref, right? You get no love when something goes
you do
wrong,
it right,
and you get no love when you get it right. So you get all the hate when something goes wrong. But you get no love when it goes right. Like, oh, you did a great job on that stoppage.
See, that's why I'm such just a I'm the asshole, because I don't care. I know when I did right, and I know when I did wrong. I don't need anyone
you've
to
been
tell
wrong
me.
quite a bit.
Well, no, with you, never.
No headbutts. No, haven't missed the headbutt. I didn't see the first two fights of the night. So the Sam Hughes and the Shauna Bannon, I didn't see that.
I tell you what, Sam, we'll talk about Shauna Bannon. Sean and Bannon came in there. There was a lot of, this back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Sean and Bannon talking about how Sam Hughes is, I guess, your typical American fighter. All she knows is one thing. Well, it was definitely enough to put an ass whipping on her. Sam Hughes went out there and dominated her. And I Sean and Bannon I've watched before. She's got a lot of the Taekwondo style kicks. She uses her kicks like a jab, continuously. And so she's fun to watch. But it was clear when the fight hit the ground.
Yeah.
There was just an absolute, difference of levels between Sam Hughes, and Sam put her in trouble throughout the first round. And then in the second round, it just continued on until she got the rear naked choke. Well done, beautifully executed. And Sam Hughes is good. She's, someone that I don't think, a lot of people are giving her credit. She's had a couple of good wins here. She's out of the Texas area there. I think she's out of Fortis MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really looking good. She fought well. But the Renat Fakhretdinov fight, I thought this was actually, I couldn't believe where the location of this fight was. I don't know if you remember watching Andreas Gustafsson, but he's been fun. He was bald in his last, maybe he was bald in this one too, but he was bald in his first couple UFC and came out and just very aggressive. Yeah, his last fight was against Chaos Williams and basically just, mauled him to the point of beating him down to the point he was able to stop him.
I remember that fight.
So I was like, this is going to be great. And he took off in the same fashion against Fakhretdinov, forward motion, going after him, hitting shots. Fakhretdinov did a good job of laterally moving, trying to counter on those, and eventually hits him with a body shot. And you can see from that moment on, all of a sudden, Gustafsson was no longer forward. He was in reverse, and it was over. Yeah. And it was a very nice, good win. It's fast. It was, a minute.
Yeah.
A minute into the fight. So it was a really good performance by Renat. It's one of those ones that he needed because he's had a lot of decisions in the UFC. So that was to me, I thought that was going to be a tough fight for him. And he looked fantastic.
I like Fakhretdinov.
So do I.
Good fighter. A little older in age, though. What, 35, 34, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I think he's getting up there.
See. 33.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's rattled off what? He's got...
Dude, he's got a hell of a record.
3, 4, 5, 6 wins, and then he's got a no contest or a draw. A draw.
Yeah.
But look, good fighter, fun to watch. I don't know. I didn't get to see it. My app had technical difficulties. I did see the highlights though of the Sam Hughes and Sean Bannon fight because they showed it right before they went into the main card, so I saw that. But I didn't see the Fakhretdinov Gustafsson fight. So. Yeah. Don't blame me, guys. I was actually watching.
It was ESPN.
I saw them walk to the cage.
They're a problem child.
I saw them in the cage getting ready to fight, and then all of a sudden, doom. Technical difficulties.
Mine did that through one of them. It was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. But before we move on, John, let's talk about Setri saunas, man.
Dude, let me tell you, Setri sauna set me up with a barrel sauna that is freaking unbelievable. First off, the quality of the thing it's so nice to see something that's put together well. I don't know what size you ended up getting, but mine will seat about, I would say, honestly, 6 large adults.
You only have 4 people on your farm. I don't understand why you got to
shut your mouth. I can put 6 naked ladies in this thing. But I think you got one different than me. I got the one with the wood burning stove.
Yes,
with the rock sitting on top, and I can pour the water over it, and it steams. And man, it gets freaking hot. I feel like Joe Rogan sitting in there. And so I'm going to start taking photos of the inside of my very cool. It's a Setri barrel sauna because they're round. They got the roofing on top, but man, they are absolutely stellar as far as how hot they get. Because a lot of times you get into a sauna and the most it'll get is like 140 degrees.
Yeah, that's like an infrared sauna.
Yeah,
some of those infrared ones they don't do much.
Screw that.
Yeah.
Okay, this one
will get up hot.
This one is as hot as you want it to get. The fire is freaking going in that thing. The stove on that thing is fantastic. I pour the water over the top. The steam freaking goes everywhere. And all of a sudden I'm looking at my thermometer and it's up at 165, 170. And it's like, holy shit, I'm going to die in here. I'm cooking like a turkey.
Yeah,
But
mine is
great.
different than yours. Yours is the wood burning. Mine is the electrical plug-in. So I have I haven't used mine yet, only because I have my plug-ins coming. So my electrician's coming to run
You need
from the
new
box.
conduits.
Yeah, so I need a new conduit out on the back patio next to my cold plunge.
Yeah.
So I have my cold plunge set up right next to my sauna. As soon as that gets ran, I'll be posting a lot about it. Look, when I'm looking at these, no different than how like Joe Rogan is with his. I like the barrel saunas. Keeps the heat in more. On top of that, though, I have more of that dry heat. I'm not looking for the infrared. If I want an infrared, I'll go to an actual place that does infrared saunas. I don't need it. I just need more of the actual heat that really gets all that shit out of your body.
That's it.
And that infrared, sure, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic, but it's not at the level where I need the heat. I need more of that, which helps my heart, helps my body, helps my blood flow, everything. So love it. Check them out. They're on Instagram, Setri Saunas. You guys can check them out. Awesome. I know like Brent Primus has got one. Him and I were chatting about it. He got his about a year ago.
Diego Lopez got one.
Who did? Diego Lopez?
Diego Lopez, yep. I'm just telling people, look at the quality of it, the craftsmanship, the way it performs. It's absolutely fantastic. Check out Setri Saunas. The freaking best, I'm telling you.
Yeah, see, you talked about the crap and shit. Let me just tell you guys this. So like the ones you buy from like Costco that are the boxes and the ones you put together, they're thin. They don't keep the heat as well. But on top of that, George's like, they're not that good.
Things.
But it really comes down to these are all handcrafted. They're actually built each one by one, and they put it all together. They actually built mine in my backyard. Most of the time they'll build them at their location. They'll bring them to you and hand deliver them to you specifically, put it where you want it, make sure it's level, all of those things. For me, what they did was they built it in my backyard because they couldn't get it through my fence or over my fence. So what they did was they built it in my backyard. It took them a whole 2 days, almost a full 2 days. Absolutely fantastic. The heat.
See, you're such a pain. They brought mine on the back of a truck. I helped them with my scoop, brought it right off, set it on the pad I put for it.
You got a 70-acre farm. You live in the middle of nowhere.
Thank God.
You have no neighbors. Like, no.
I don't want neighbors.
They could have driven it from any direction.
Young people like you want neighbors. Old grizzly bastards.
Of course,
old grizzly bastards like me. No, just stay away.
When I turn 70 like you, then I'll go ahead and probably not have neighbors.
There you go.
My kids will be out of college hopefully by then, and I don't have to worry about having. I have to have neighbors now. My kids need people to play with.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, George, what do you got for us, man? Keto George, you got some news for us? There was a lot going on this last weekend. Obviously, my boy Luke Rockhold coming up with a loss. There was that
wasn't a loss.
You had, Ruotolo had a great win against Aiden Lee. Great fight there. There's so much to talk about. But George, tell us what you want to talk about.
All right. Well, as announced on Instagram via TMZ Sports, apparently in 2026, we're going to see Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in the squared circle. What do you guys think about that?
Squared circle. I'm not sure that works, but
that's what they call it. That is ridiculous. What do I think about it? Blah. I'm sorry. Done.
John, I get where you're coming from, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Go ahead.
Mike Tyson, make that money, man.
Oh, no, I have no problem with Mike making the money. Is it something I want to watch? No.
But you will.
No, I don't think I will.
Oh, well then, John, that means that I got to carry the weight to talk about it.
Again.
You're going to talk. I'm going to send you the streaming link. Don't worry. We got it. I think that's what, look, let me just throw this out there. I think that's why the ESPN app had so many problems today. They shut down the biggest streaming app there was, apparently. This is what I just heard the other day. They shut down the biggest streaming app in the world. And I think all of a sudden people were like, oh, I can't stream it. And they have to actually go to the app and watch it. I think that's why.
Too much business, huh?
Too much business.
I like it.
Maybe I'm far-fetched. Who knows?
I don't know.
What you don't like the fight?
No, it's not a fight.
So what's going to happen? I know it's not a fight. It's a
well. Let's be honest. Even at Tyson will end up being 59 years old by the time the fight takes place.
I think he'll be. Well, yeah,
it's 58, 59.
Yeah.
Even at that advanced age, because I want to say Mayweather's close to 50. He's coming up on it, but Mayweather couldn't hurt fucking Tyson if he allowed him to just fucking sit there and hit him for fucking the first round without touching him. He just doesn't hit hard. Okay, he's not a power hitter, so I just look at it. That Floyd is getting on the phone and Mike is getting on the phone, and they're saying, okay, well, hey, I'm not going to hit you hard. We'll just do this, we'll do that, we'll make it look good. So it's not a fight. It's not a
Tyson
fight.
knocks him out, man. I'd give him an extra couple thousand. I'd give Tyson a good.
I'd give him the extra too, but he's not going to try to do it. So that's why it's like I could care less.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
You okay?
I'm gonna
okay
watch.
with that? That's okay.
I'm a Tyson fan.
If you have to pay for it, are you gonna watch?
Yeah. The streaming's being shut down, John. I can't stream anymore.
No, it could be on Netflix. That was free before.
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
Okay, so it'll be free.
I think it is. So if it's on Netflix, I'm definitely watching.
So then I'll watch it if it's free. But I ain't paying.
Do you have Netflix? Or do you stream it?
Hell yes. No, I got Netflix.
It's going to be one of those. We'll get more details. Is it going to be 5 rounds or 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds? What's it going to be?
Doesn't matter.
It's obviously an expedition.
It's an expedition. That's a vehicle made by Ford.
Yeah, an exhibition. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to watch it just because we'll probably never see Mike Tyson fight again. This will be
really? I thought that's what they said. Jake Paul.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll find
I'm going
out.
to watch as much as I can. As much as I can of Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's okay.
What else you got, George?
All right. So apparently,
George, give me something better than that one.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Apparently,
Hall of Famers, and you're talking trash.
Okay, hold on. What have I told you before? What have I told you before?
You're old?
Okay, I am. I admit that. See, I don't lie. But I'm being honest when I say watching two old people fight is like watching two old people fuck. You think you want to see it till you do, and then you go, why did I fucking watch that?
Oh, yeah, I don't think like that, John. Sorry. I don't think like that.
Just the truth.
Go right ahead.
All right. So apparently,
although back in the day, Nina Hartley, when she was getting older, wasn't so. Never mind. Go ahead.
Who's Nina
People
Hartley?
don't even know who Nina Hartley is.
Who's
This
Nina
generation
Hartley,
is
right?
watching this show has no idea who
Go
Nina
to
Hartley.
Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Go to Boogie Nights.
Go ahead.
So apparently, coming out of retirement to return to boxing at heavyweight, according to the Misfits, Andrew Tate is targeted for a fight at heavyweight. There's been rumors circulating that it could be in October against Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
At heavyweight?
At heavyweight. Does that interest you guys? And what are the potential odds we could see a Josh Thompson versus Tony Ferguson on this card?
Dude, there you go. Look, I'm being honest. That one kind of does interest me. The whole thing with heavyweight is, first off, Andrew Tate is a bigger person. So, yeah, he's going to be, look at above 200 pounds is heavyweight in boxing.
Yeah.
So,
will it be boxing or kickboxing?
It'll be boxing.
Boxing.
Okay.
And Donald has been chemically enhanced from hey, you can do it. It's a free world, man. He's doing what he wants to, but so I'm sure his weight is far above the 155 to 170 pound weight classes so it's not like it's a big difference in size or anything like that. And they have had words before. Donald has said things about Andrew Tate and about his fighting prowess and stuff. So I think it's great. I would not mind watching that, and I would enjoy the entire process as it builds up to it. I think it'll be great.
I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Look, all I care about is these guys want to still fight. Misfit Boxing and the other ones that were all Triller and all the other ones, they were giving the fighters that didn't want to fight at that extreme high level anymore a place to go and to make some money. Whether it was 80 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, sure. People don't realize in this time right now and where we're at in this world, like 150 grand, 200 grand goes a long way. Like these guys also too, it gets the itch out. It gets that they get to scratch that itch and not have to focus so much on the grappling, the wrestling, the knees. Like you don't have to worry about all that. If he wants to box, get after it, man.
Get after it.
Go right ahead and get after it. So, like I said, I was in talks with Misfit a little bit and just in conversations about some stuff. So whatever, man. Like we'll see what happens. But the numbers got to be right for me, like to do it. I'm okay right now. I know there's a lot of people going, "Oh, you're broke. You need the money." I'm like, no, I'm fine. I just, we gotta be. You gotta make sure that it's worth it. And I do want to scratch the itch. I think everyone knows that. I've said it on this show multiple times. I have that one last, and also too the farewell that Dustin got. I never got, and I don't want it to be like that. Obviously, it's not going to be like that, but you also want to know that it's your last fight. You want to feel like this is my last fight. I'm going to come in, just let it go, have fun, and that's kind of something I've always wanted to do. That's kind of been on my mind. I think that the Cowboy Cerrone fight is a fantastic fight. If they can make it happen, him and Andrew Tate, absolutely. I'd love to see the fight. Love to see it. I heard that Tony and somebody else agreed to fight. I couldn't believe. Was it somebody else that was on that card? Who else?
Dylan Dennis.
Dylan Dennis. I heard it was Dylan Dennis and Tony agreed to fight.
Yeah.
So good fight. Whatever, man. Like I think that's a great fight. Let them fight. I don't think it should be MMA. It should be boxing.
Oh no, it should be MMA. It should absolutely be MMA.
You think so?
Oh, hold on, Josh.
It doesn't favor Dylan.
No, it doesn't.
Sorry,
that's why what's that?
You think it does favor Dylan?
No, I do not.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I think it should be MMA.
Really? I mean, look, Dylan is equal, if not better, than Charles Oliveira on the ground.
Okay. Not in MMA.
But on the ground.
On the ground. If you're gonna say they walked into a school.
So you don't think that Dylan could take Tony down?
He's gonna have a hard time. No, he's not gonna take Tony down. Absolutely.
He's not gonna stand with him.
He's not a takedown guy. He's not a wrestler. Okay. He's a
jiu-jitsu guy. He is physically bigger though.
Not by much. You got to figure Dylan fought at 170 pounds. Tony's fought at 170. So it's not like, it's that big a thing. Yeah. As far as the complete game, and Tony's going to be a hard nut for Dylan to crack, and that he's going to be getting hit by Tony with angles that he's not used to. I think Dylan's gotten way better in his stand-up. His ground game is good. He has still never fought anybody. Nobody. With this fight, the guy he fought, 0 fights. So it's like you haven't fought anybody. Tony has fought people. No, Tony's been in hard contests. Dylan has not.
I understand what you're saying. I think it's going to be a more difficult fight than we're kind of making it out to be, though, because the grappling aspect of it all, there will be some problems for Tony if the physical size, I think, of Dylan's bigger. I don't know. Tony's not what he was when he was 32, 30. You know what I mean? Like,
no, he's not even close.
And how old is Dylan? 33?
Probably.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Like the age thing also bothers me a little bit, but whatever. Look, I'm going to tune in and watch. Doesn't matter if they do fight. I'm going to tune in and watch. Yeah. I want to see what happens. I mean, if it's going to be boxing, I'm leaning all the way Tony. Not even close. I'm leaning all the way Tony. If it's going to be MMA, the grappling levels do concern me a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. What else you got, George?
All right. After his Dirty Boxing 3 debut, Bryan Battle has signed to the PFL to their middleweight division. What do you guys think about this signing? What potential matchups do you want to see out of him in the PFL?
Before we start this conversation, I had this conversation with Angelo on our Bad Takes show. John, do you think he missed weight on purpose? Because that's a good way to get cut without any repercussions. Because if you miss weight, then he went and he fought literally like a week later in Dirty Boxing. Probably made more money than he was going to make in the UFC. And then he turns around and signs with the PFL, probably for more money than he's making in the UFC. I'm throwing it out there. Like if you fighters now, if you're not happy with your UFC contract, a good way to get cut without having to worry about anything is, but the potential of coming back. Because what fighters will sometimes do is they'll fight, then they'll lose, even though they don't want to fight, and then they'll end up getting cut off of that, and then they go to another organization, then they have no negotiation rights. They basically can't say like, hey, I demand this much money. You didn't make weight. Why? I've proven before that I can make weight. so I can do it for sure. Because he turned around 2 weeks later and made weight for Dirty Boxing, the same exact weight.
Yeah, but I don't think I honestly don't think that he purposely did
far
it.
Ahead.
No.
I'm giving him too much credit.
That's a very good analogy that you want to bring up. How far ahead do you think he is thinking of these things? No, I think that Bryan made a tactical error as far as thinking that because I'm going up from 170 to the 185 pound weight class, making weight's going to be easy. No, that's just not the way it works. You got to do the right things every time and prepare yourself in the proper way. I think it's a learning lesson for him. I think that signing with the PFL is a great thing for both him and the PFL. I think that he'll give people a lot of trouble in the 185 pound division. There's a lot of good matchups for him. I think, again, take that one body that's a good fighter, and I think Bryan Battle is a good fighter, and you put it in the mix. Now you've got all these different matchups that you can make, and it switches things up. It puts it a nice little curveball on a lot of things. So it's great for the PFL, and it's good for Bryan Battle that he signed with him.
He's got 8 wins in the UFC. He's got one no loss. Contest, and he's got 1 loss to Fakhretdinov.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that was a decision too.
What, the Fakhretdinov?
Fakhretdinov, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, I was in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, if you're a fighter,
you're thinking
you're not
far ahead.
Am I? I guess CT hasn't fully kicked in yet. I'm still thinking ahead.
Okay.
So it just comes, I guess when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, if you're a fighter that's not happy with the UFC contract and you've got fights, you got Dirty Boxing offering you, say, $100,000 to fight, and you're only going to make 80 if you win. Whatever. I don't even know what his contract is. I'm throwing out numbers that people can probably just try to wrap their head around. And then he turns around and he probably signs with the PFL for however much. He showed that he can make the weight when he fought in Dirty Boxing. Now he's going to come in. I don't know what he signed for. I don't know what he signed for in the PFL in terms of what weight class, 85 or 70.
I thought it was 185. Yeah.
So 85, he's going to have Johnny Eblin. He's going to have Fabian Edwards. He's going to have, those guys.
Costello Van Steenis, Dalton Rasta. There's, Aaron Jeffries. There's a lot of guys in there that they're going to give him problems.
Yeah.
But he's going to give them problems too. He's good. He's a dog. If there's one thing I'll give him, the kid's a dog. He can fight. He'll bite down and he'll fight.
He's got some time, though, before they do the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So do they have another card before then? Are we done until March? Or
I think they're done until like March, April.
That's what kills the PFL.
Kills all dude. They had a
momentum.
Great year.
Yeah.
They had a great year.
Yeah.
And now you're going to sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
That's no wild to me.
I know.
Yeah, you have nothing during the holidays. You got nothing during
you don't have to run the tournament, but have
an event.
Events with matched fights that people could be interested in. You gotta you gotta give fights to your fighters too.
Yeah. That's wild to me. Yeah. You've got, here we are, September 8th, 9th, something like that.
Could you imagine September, October, November, December, January, February, March?
That's wild.
Crazy.
It's half a year.
Yeah.
Half a year you're sitting on the sideline going, okay, can we get a fight?
Yep.
Can we get an event? Not a recipe for success when it comes to being a promoter. You got to have at least one card a month.
At least.
Right now, if you want to be successful, you got to have 2. I think if you have 2 a month, throughout the year, you can go ahead and build something. That was one thing that I loved about Bellator is we had 2 cards a month. Now all you fans, all you hardcore fans, you're all missing it now, huh? Talking all that shit. All right. What else you got for us, George?
All right, you guys touched on this briefly earlier, but Ruotolo submits Adrian Lee in his back and forth war on One Fight Night 35. What did you guys think about his performance?
I thought Ty looked good, man. Like, I look at there's a lot of holes in his game. Like, he's a new MMA guy. Like, he's a fantastic grappler. He's got great pressure. I just saw like a lot of wasted energy in positions that
totally.
I guess a good fighter, he can't afford to waste that energy, but he's young. The guy's young in his game. He's a fantastic athlete. he's a sponge. He just wants to learn and get better. The fact that he's even trying to step up and do not even trying, he's now the champion there. He's achieved. And so I guess whatever the next steps are for him, you know what I mean? But Adrian Lee is fantastic. Absolutely. Lee is a great fighter, good on the ground, tough to deal with. And Ty's a stud, man. Ty and his brother Cade, both of them, I expect huge things from both of them. It's gonna be fun to see their journey along the way. What are they, like 23, 24 years old? They're young. They're young.
Whatever it is, super young.
Their style of grappling is not like a control. Let me hold you. No, let me just go ahead and burrow through everything. Let me just burrow through all your stuff, your legs, your hands, your defense. I'm going to pass. I'm going to sweep. I'm going to do all these things. And they're going to attack from positions that most people don't understand, and they're fun to watch. That aggressive grappling style is going to give a lot of athletes. If they try to slowly and methodically pass and do those things, I wouldn't have much expectations for their career. Because a lot of these guys, once they start to figure out their game, they're going to realize, like, I can stop it by doing this, stop it by doing this. The thing with them that makes them successful is you don't know what they're going to do. They don't even know what they're going to do until you give them something that they're going to, how they attack you. So when their opponents attack them, they're like, okay, look, I'll take that and I'll do this and I'll do that. They've got these little tools that, like, the two of them work out in their garage together, and they figure out, like, this works for me because of my body style. They're tall, long, and lanky for the weight class as well. So I look at them and I think to myself, they have a bright, bright future. It really depends, though, too. Will they get stuck in the one FC contracts? Will they be stuck there? Will they ever be able to leave if they want to leave? They're going to start demanding a lot more money here, knowing the success that they've had. They don't have the competition that they should have over there. Yeah. If anything, like, you would love to see fighters, go there and compete against them. But why would they when they say, hey, why don't you come over to the UFC or PFL? Or one is hemorrhaging themselves right now. So they're doing what they can to stay afloat. Ty and Cade are definitely things that are helping to prop them up. I want them to stay in business. I don't know if they will, but I want them to stay in business because it's another avenue for fighters to be at. It's another avenue for them to make money.
Yeah, but it's really changing to the point. It's really not another avenue for fighters because they're not taking many fighters from places other than Thailand and
they're letting fighters go, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because they can't afford them.
Yeah.
But they can afford the young Thai fighters that are tough as hell, good, fun to watch, that they're not paying anything to.
Yeah, true. I mean, I look at Ty and Cade. I think they've got bright futures. Hopefully, they don't get stuck in one. If they want to try to leave, hopefully they can experiment out. And
I got to say, in watching that fight, I thought obviously Ty made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
and there absolutely, you could see as positions changed, and he got he thought he was good in a position. All of a sudden, Adrian Lee is moving, and now they're back in the. You could see the concern of, oh my God, now I can get hit. And he wasn't in the position of controlling, and obviously he's young. He hasn't been there, and it is nerve-wracking when you think you're going to be able to stop someone, and that person is tough enough, they just don't give up.
Yeah.
I always say that, the person that is you have to worry about is not the one that, talks this. It's the one that, even if they're really not good at fighting, they just never stop coming at you. Well, that's the person that, you got to worry about, because they've got it in their head. I'm not quitting.
No.
And Adrian Lee was in that, fight. He was not quitting, and Ruotolo had to suck up sometimes, a lot of air to get himself back, but he went right back to fighting. His ground control was fucking phenomenal at times, and his ability to finish the fight when he got the choke, Adrian Lee was doing everything he could to try to break the hands. Ty's too good with it, and he ends up getting the submission. But I'll tell you what, for a guy who hasn't fought in MMA, I thought he was very impressive.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I thought they fought great, man.
Yep.
What else you got for us?
While being interviewed by MMA Fighting, Usman Nurmagomedov said that he has a better resume than Ilia Topuria. What do you guys think about this? Is there truth behind this comment? I mean, I can see where he's coming from. I don't think it's the worst argument in the world.
Oh, is that your opinion?
That's my personal opinion.
Go ahead.
He's my friend, but it's not true. Like, Usman is a fantastic athlete. He's a fantastic fighter.
Okay.
But Ilia has beaten Max Holloway, Volkanovski, and Charles Oliveira. Those three alone, they're on a different level than any of the guys that Usman's fought. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Usman. He's done a great job in Bellator. He has done it in a short period of time. He's been very dominant. I mean, he struggled with Paul Hughes. That was his only fight that I felt like he struggled with. He had a great fight. He's a fantastic champion, and I think he'll continue to be champion. But I can't compare Paul Hughes and Chris Gonzalez and those guys that he's fought. I can't compare them to Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira, and Volkanovski. I just can't do it. Can't. And I love Usman. I think he's a fantastic athlete, great fighter. I got to keep buttoning it up like that, man, because he's my guy. But
all right, I agree with you. I think first off, I think Usman is a phenomenal fighter. I think he is gifted in a lot of areas, but his toughest competition has absolutely been Paul Hughes, who is a good fighter. Paul Hughes, I think he's got the dog in him. He beat Alexander Shabley, who I know is a really good fighter.
Fantastic striker.
Okay. He's beaten guys, if you want to talk about like Benson Henderson was at the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to, say anything. He did beat Patricky Pitbull, Chris Gonzalez, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go and think of, other than that, the guys that are down the list. A couple of them, if you're going to go to like when he was fighting in the UAE Warriors and stuff like that, some decent, ones. But, he had Mike Hamill. He fought, I think was the first fight he had. I might be wrong, but I'm thinking it's the first fight he had in the Bellator, and Mike Hamill's a good, gritty, tough fighter, but he went the distance with him. Mm-hmm. Okay. And if I go and I look at all the ones that, are in that, there's a lot of submissions and there's a lot of knockouts and stuff, but there's no one, if you're going to look at the names that, Topuria, if you're going to go, and the first main fight I can really remember was his comeback against, Aber in what's Aber's first name? I'm losing it. He's from England, but he actually hurt Topuria. Topuria comes back and knocks him out. Then he goes and
Jai Herbert.
Jai, thank you very much. Then he goes and he wins a submission over Bryce Mitchell. You can say what you want about Bryce Mitchell. He's proven himself. He's a tough young fighter, very good on the ground. Maybe not the greatest stand-up fighter, but on the ground, tough. And he submitted the guy who was a submission fighter. Then he fought Josh Emmett, right? And you take a look at that. Now, Emmett went the distance with him, but Emmett's known for his power and everything. And, Topuria cleanly won that fight. Then he had Volkanovski. And you take a look at, his win over Volkanovski was a knockout. Now, it was a knockout after Volk got head kicked by Islam, but still Topuria beautifully put him away. And Volkanovski, we all know, is he is one of the best fighters out there. So, Max Holloway, no one knocks Max Holloway out. Ilia Topuria knocked him out. Charles Oliveira knocked him out. You can't compare the resumes and say that Usman's had the harder schedule. No, sorry.
Usman's toughest fight would, terms of name value, would be Benson Henderson. In terms of name value.
Well, as far as biggest name value?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess as far as people knowing who it is, I would say Alexander Shabley and Paul Hughes are his two best competitive
Those
fights.
are the current ones in terms of, we know, like most people, if you're a casual fan, you wouldn't know that Alexander Shabley's a fucking really tough fight.
He's a sniper.
And he made it look easy. Yeah. And then the Paul Hughes fight, I didn't give Paul the credit that he deserved, and he made that fight way closer than I thought he was going to make it.
I agree.
But in terms of name value, I give it to Benson Henderson. I will say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Benson's been you know, a world champion in multiple organizations and stuff. So yeah, you're right as far as name value. But like I said, at the time that he fought Benson wasn't the same guy that you fought.
No, I agree. But then on top of that I wanted to say this. Just because I'm telling you that he didn't have the right, like he didn't fight the Volkanovski and the Max Holloway and the Charles Oliveira. Stylistically, Usman's a tough. I look at him as being kind of a tough style fight for Ilia. The length, the kicks, snap kicks, the long range, and the wrestling. Those things to me it makes it kind of a little bit of an interesting fight in a matchup against Ilia Topuria. It does make it interesting to me.
It is interesting, but it's also, I'm just going to be honest and say, I look at Ilia as a very intelligent fighter. And if there's one thing he's going to do, he's going to watch that fight with Usman against Paul Hughes, the first one. Mm-hmm. And now he'll have a second one because there's going to be a second one. And the first one, he's going to see exactly what you need to do to try to beat Usman. You know, you don't want to stand on the outside with Usman. You can't. No. He's too fast, and he's got longer. The length, and he uses it well. And when he wants, he's got good wrestling, so he can take it down. Topuria's got good wrestling. He can take the fight to the ground. So it might cancel each other out in that. Outside of range, Usman's the better stand-up fighter. Inside the pocket, Ilia Topuria is the better fighter.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And the wrestling, I mean, I think they pretty much cancel themselves out.
They cancel each other out, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say if Ilia can get past the long range.
Yeah. Which he seems to do very well against everybody.
Yeah. I agree. The difference between him getting past it, though, is that he gets it past it when it's the striking, when it's the boxing. Like with Max, he was able to slide himself in and out. How can he get past it with the kicks?
Yeah.
That's going to be the difference. The boxing doesn't knock you off balance as much as the kicks do. It ruins your rhythm. It ruins the way you move and the way you flow off of things and able to counter things. In no way am I saying that Usman can beat Ilia, but I'm not going to also say that Ilia can't beat, or he can't beat Usman. The two of them can end up being one of those fights. It could be a really great fight. It could also be a really boring fight because you've got Usman who's long ranged, who's going to try and stay on the outside, a lot of lateral movement. And when Ilia overcommits, he may try to take him down. And then with Ilia, he's going to try to get inside that boxing range in the phone booth and try to box him and drop him and knock him out that way. And he could also potentially try to wrestle. I just look at the physical size of Usman is very big. Yeah. He's taller than Islam. He's not as thick as Islam.
He's about the same as Charles, though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is.
Charles and him are very similar as far as stature, I would say.
Yeah, but I look at Usman. He's the more muscular guy. Charles got the real skinny legs. So does Usman, but they're not quite that skinny. Look, I'm not trying to make an argument for Usman. I just think that it really does make for a fun fight because whoever can implement their game plan better,
it makes for a fun fight. It's a great fight. I would love to see it, but straight out, if someone's saying that their, resume is a more difficult resume than Topuria's, no, it's not.
No, it's not. No, I would agree. Yeah, it's like it would be like us trying to compare, like, oh well, what about the resume to Max Holloway to Dustin Poirier? Like these guys have two of the best resumes in the sport ever. Yep. So yeah. Give us what else you got? You got one more?
Yeah, I got one more I can give you.
Give us one more.
So the UFC is officially set for June 2026 weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial for UFC White House.
That's freaking wild.
Does this mean we have a confirmed McGregor or John Jones fight? Or does the UFC make the right decision and make Kayla Harrison the main event? What do we got?
I think they have two Americans that are world champions right now, right? Two.
I mean, one.
No, it's two.
You're claiming him? Are you claiming him?
I am. You're damn right. I like him.
I'm not saying I don't like him, but is he going to walk out there with an American flag?
No, he's got a damn freaking Georgian flag tattooed on his chest.
John trying to claim was not it.
He's going to have to tattoo an American flag on the other pec. I don't care who they put in that. You know, first off, it should not be someone that's not a champion. I'm just going to put that out. The main event should go to a champion. So whoever they put, you know, go ahead and put. But you know, I just don't. I don't think they're going to bring in John Jones. I think they look at it as too much trouble as far as we don't want anything to upset the apple cart in such a fight where we have so much at stake and reputations and things like that. Not going to do it. And with Conor McGregor, it's tough to put him in a fight unless he is the co-main at least.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can put him as the main event. Not in that show. I'm just being honest. I think you got to have a championship fight.
Well, the other thing too is that you have to. I think if you're going to do it here at the White House, you have to have an American champion. So I guess my next question to you is:
I think George called it off. It's Kayla.
Well, no, I understand that. What I'm saying though is, do you have her wait to fight Amanda Nunes until then? Because if she loses to Amanda Nunes,
if you want to guarantee that you have an American champion going in there, but you know, you could, but you would.
I mean, or do you have them fight and hope that it's a good fight and a close fight, and then you have them rematch? Because it's not as if that division's stacked and there's tons of females chomping at the bit to fight for the title.
No, but you could. I mean, there's all kinds of, you know, there's all kinds of fights that are coming up that you could still have someone fight in, you know, November, December, and then fight in June. No problem.
Is there an American person fighting for a title?
Yeah, of course there is.
Corey Sandhagen.
Corey Sandhagen's fighting Marab.
He's got to beat Marab, who is the other American that John was trying to use a second ago.
Well, he's an American.
No faith in John. No faith in Corey Sandhagen. John has no faith in Corey Sandhagen. He's trying to claim Marab already for next June.
If you gave Sean Brady a fucking shot at the fucking welterweight title, we might have an American champion.
This is very true.
Oh, it is true.
This is very true. I like the Sean Brady fight.
Yeah. And so you also have, it's going to be tough in the middleweights or any other ones as far as what I'm seeing. So I would say that the welterweight division with Sean is a possibility. You could, you know, whoever they put against Ilia, is it going to be Justin Gaethje? If it is,
I will say they have confirmed Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand that. Then that fight's going to happen. And then the winner of that could, if Sean Brady fights one more time, which it sounds like he's going to.
They were talking about Sean Brady possibly going up against Shavkat.
Yeah.
So if that happens.
Which I think Sean Brady can beat him.
Oh, yeah. He definitely.
I think Sean Brady can beat Shavkat. The inactivity of Shavkat, Sean Brady being right there. Sean Brady's trying to stay as active as possible. You know, his confidence is at an all-time high right now. And then him fighting possibly.
Or you could end up with Joshua Van being the champion.
This is very true.
Pantoja.
This is very true. Very true.
Yeah.
But, John, the story writes itself with Kayla Harrison.
Oh, it does.
And I think also, too, what you got to do is you give Amanda Nunes a little bit more time to kind of get ready, not fully get but you know, she probably took a good 2-3 months off, 4 months off of not doing anything.
Oh, more than that. Yeah.
Maybe more than that. But to give her that amount of time, be like, hey, Kayla, would you rather fight her now, get it as quick as you can, or would you rather fight her on the White House? I think Kayla's like, I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Like, I'm going to take the White House. 100% I'm going to take the White House. Yeah. And then if you have, I think in the process, you have a Sean Brady win, you know, be able to become a number one contender and fight the winner of JDM and Islam, then I think you do that fight. Or, you can't. There's not really anybody else. I can't think of another person.
No, not right now. Not that's in a position to actually fight for the title. That makes sense. So, but that's honestly, I'm being honest. That's what I love about the sport. That's what I love about the UFC. I love the fact that you got all these people from all these different places.
Yeah.
That have made something in this sport. So it's kind of cool.
I mean, let me see here. Let me pull this up. I'm looking at this thing right here. John, you have Joshua Van fighting next. You've got Corey Sandhagen, who potentially could be win.
Yep.
You've got nobody from America.
Not in the
No.
in the featherweights. You could
Aljo.
You could have Aljo, exactly.
Yeah. Aljo, and then you've got what do you got in 55? You got Max.
You got Justin.
You got Justin and Max.
Yep.
Let me see. You got who do you got? Jack Della Maddalena.
You got Sean Brady.
You got Sean Brady.
Yep.
That's it. No other Americans down there until you get way down.
Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
He's got to win. He beat Buckley.
No, I know. I look at Kamaru has a tendency, him and Izzy and Francis, to have a tendency to
Nigeria.
So, I mean, look, he's American, 100%. He's American.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I don't know. I'm just looking at this. I'm going through it all. You got Sean Strickland.
Oh, no, you got that answer there is Anthony Hernandez.
Oh, yes, it is.
Come on. That's as American as it gets.
Yes. Yeah. Thug life. I love it. And then you get into the 205s.
Yeah, that one doesn't look real good unless you're looking at maybe a Khalil Roundtree, Jamal, or Dominic Reyes.
Yeah. Dom, I'm telling you, man, Dom's making a run back.
Well, he is.
As much as we got held up with the John Jones and the Tom Aspinall thing, I could still see that potentially happening. If Tom Aspinall wins, I could see them putting him there. I could. But I think the story writes itself with Kayla Harrison. Do you do it as like a slap in the face, though? You say like, hey, John, you and Tom are the co-main to the 2-time Olympic gold medalist against the number 1 pound for pound female fighter ever, Amanda Nunes. Like, do you do it? Do you sell it that way if you're the UFC?
No.
Okay.
You do not.
Okay.
Just be honest.
But John, people have already paid for or whatever. They've already tuned into Paramount or CBS or whatever it is. Like, they're not going to tune out because it's Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes.
I didn't say they're going to, but the UFC has set a precedence in how they do things.
Yeah.
And that's one precedent that they're not going to, that heavyweight championship. And if it was John Jones against Tom Aspinall, it will be your main event. Just the way it is.
I don't know.
Oh man, come on. You do know.
I think it's going to be a very eventful night. Is it on CBS?
It should be.
Yes. For
Absolutely.
Free for everyone.
Free for everyone. As many people as you can get eyeballs on.
I agree.
Yep.
I think that would be huge. Huge.
Could you imagine doing a weigh-in at the fucking Lincoln Memorial? You got to. Could you imagine weighing in there?
When the weigh-ins at MSG.
Hello.
Everyone's like, oh, MSG. This is where Ali fought. No. Like, we're using the scale. The other world champions are. Oh man, you're doing it in front of Lincoln Memorial. Shut the hell up. Like, it's insane. That's insane.
It would be.
The sport just keeps getting better and better. Sadly, I was one of the originals, or coming up as one of the originals, and so guess what? We didn't reap any of the benefits.
There you go.
But hey guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this show. It was 2 hours long.
Damn,
2 hours.
You're very
a lot
talkative.
of time spent.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and John, take us away.
For everyone out there, man, I hope you enjoyed the show. Have a fantastic end of your weekend, and we will see you.
And now bringing you that hard hitting fight analysis, submitting you into paralysis. Josh Thompson head kicking leg to dome, and Big John McCarthy saying let's get it on.